Welcome back. Well, it's just a little after 3 p.m. and the market's in a good mood so far, gearing up for the big event tomorrow. There you go. Most of the gains are also intact. We have Vikas Khemani, founder, Carnelian Asset Management, joining in. Vikas, good to have you on. So just a few hours to go now, right? It's not even 24 hours anymore. What would you say? I mean, is this budget, because of the situation that we are in, the macros, the micros, the global and the local, has this budget become a little more important perhaps for the market this year?
I think, Surabhi, if you see over the years, the importance of the budget has been going down because there was a time when most of the policy announcement used to happen through budget, which has kind of been taken away. I think it's largely now probably reduced to two or three things. One is, I think, how government is thinking about the fiscal deficit and the breakup of the expenditure between capital and revenue. And secondly, I think to some extent on the direct tax, especially the personal income tax. So I think these are the two things market would look and watch forward this time around. I think by and large, there's an expectation there will be some rationalization on the personal income tax, which could leave some money in the hands of middle class. So I think to that extent, it could be positive for the consumer stock sentiment. My own view has been that I think these things tend to last, maybe a week or so. They don't, necessarily change anything from a direction of the market perspective. So I think probably next week we will, it'll be done, event and forgotten. And I think the story will move to the, earnings growth, liquidity, valuation, all those things. So I think, this will come and go. And I don't think that there is specific big game changing is likely to happen from this budget per se. Of course, some of these things which we are looking to watch out, we will watch out. And if some personal income tax reduction happens, that will be good news.
All right. Hi, Vikas. Good afternoon and good to see you. Vikas, over the years, I've heard you, from the corporate job till you started running your own fund, and you're one of the flag bearers about this India story. Keep investing, stay bullish, And I like the quote you put out as well, on your Twitter ID just a few days ago. When you said you need to have a 10-bagger, you can get there, but you need to have the stomach to take the blows as well. When the stock becomes half, then you need to back yourself. So I think a lot of investors will take a lot of heart from that fact, because a lot of stocks, after falling 40%, in fact, they pull back a lot of those losses. But you need to have the stomach to take some of those blows. That said, Vikas, what about budget? It could be a few days event. But I think the capex spend is something that the street is really looking forward to, because that could be a compounder, that could be a multiplier as well. Some rationalization of taxes will have consumption. But I think that capex spend that number is going to be important. And I think the following week we have the RBI as well. That's realized there's a problem, liquidity is required, and they're taking measures as well. So comment on both these two factors.
No, absolutely. And I think, government has been always very clear about the direction to spend on capex. If you see last couple of budgets also, this has been very clear. And this government understands very well that we need to spend money on building infrastructure and do capex, and which has been executed. I think last year per se, there was a little bit of slowdown because of the election, tightness in the liquidity and all those things, which I'm sure there are measures being taken to correct that. I see no reason why, any thing bad will come out in terms of capex number in the budget. I think it'll be fairly fine in my opinion. So while market should get clarity, but I don't see any big change because I think as far as the broader vision of government is concerned, we know budget is just a subset of that outcome, subset of that policy broadly. So I don't think anything negative will come out on that.
And Vikas, I think, you all have been participating in this fall, right? You all have been nibbling in. So if you could tell us, how are you all positioned with regard to your cash? Are you all seeing, the flows that are coming in are as solid as well? And if you could hint to us at least, what have you all been buying? That would be great news for our viewers.
I think so. I think the fortunate news is that in the last couple of days, we've got a lot of clients calling us and that shall we put more money? And we have seen flows coming in. And we were last couple of months were sitting on sort of cash. We were deploying slowly the fund. So we have used this opportunity to deploy, not fully, but still some amount of capital. So we're not sitting on a whole lot of cash, but generally speaking, we are in a more deployment mode because we don't think anything materially has changed India's story. Apart from the prices. So when you see a 30-40% correction in a stock on a market, I think it's a great news from a structural story perspective. Of course, that does not mean that markets will run away tomorrow. And market had its own cycle. So I've been saying this market probably will be in a 22 1,500 to 25,000 range for quite some time. Market needs to consolidate, and which is what is happening. And in such consolidation phase, whenever you get such kind of opportunity, they are the great times to kind of buy stocks. But from long-term perspective, because short-term uncertainty, nobody can kind of time out and can play out how they will work out. So our view continues to remain that India is one of the great story. Nothing major changing structurally perspective. There will be 1 or 2 quarters of here and there, whether it's corporate earning or capex cycle or some other reason, right? But they don't disturb the long-term story. And I'm as bullish as I was ever from a structural point of view.
Okay, all right, Vikas. By the way, we should just pull up the